We'll stop making videos about amazing archaeological finds the moment archaeologists stop uncovering them, which means we're not stopping anytime soon. The work of archaeologists around the world keeps revealing epic finds, and we've got some of the most fascinating ones lined up for you in this video. So, without wasting your valuable seconds, let's get right into it. Number 15, Osaka Mass Grave. Mass graves are nothing new to archaeologists, but the one found in Osaka back in 2020 was unlike anything they'd seen before. Over 1,500 bodies were found, all compressed into cramped burial pits. Experts traced the remains to Japan's Edo period, which started in the early 1600s and ended by the mid-1800s, when the Tokugawa shogunate held power. None of the dead were buried with possessions, leading researchers to believe this was the standard burial method for commoners who couldn't afford family tombs. That would also explain why several individuals were often packed into a single hole. However, it raises the question, did they all die at the same time? Large burial sites like this often point to disasters, massacres, or deadly plagues. But even after extensive testing, scientists found no trace of disease in the bones. Whether these people were victims of poverty or catastrophe, one thing's certain, their burial tells a raw story of life and death during a harsh and deeply stratified era in Japan's history. Number 14. Alfred Jewel. The Alfred Jewel is one of the most intricate and valuable objects from Anglo-Saxon England. This artifact was crafted in the 9th century and personally commissioned by King Alfred the Great. It was designed to function as a reading pointer. It features a gold frame surrounding a polished rock crystal, under which a cloisonné enamel image is housed. The figure's identity remains debated, but some say it could depict Christ or maybe St. Cuthbert, a once prominent figure in England before St. George took his place centuries later. The jewel was found in Somerset, not far from Athelney Abbey, the site from which Alfred launched his campaign against the Danes. Though Alfred likely distributed similar pointers to friends and allies, this one stands out for its craftsmanship. It's thought that the pointer was once attached to a rod at the dragon's mouth on the jewel's front. Lost during the chaos of war, it lay buried for nearly 700 years before its rediscovery. Now it's preserved in the Ashmolean Museum, Oxford. Number 13, El Kuru Graffiti. El Kuru is located in Sudan's Nile Valley and spans centuries of history, from the Kingdom of Kush to the Christian era. Recent excavations by the El Kuru Archaeological Project have brought nearly 1,000 pieces of carved graffiti to light, found across pyramid tombs and a rock-cut temple. The carvings include animals, transportation imagery, religious symbols, and drilled holes, which are possibly tied to healing rituals or spiritual offerings. Some etchings date to the 4th century BCE and show Egyptian and Kushite themes, while others, created by medieval Christian pilgrims, reflect newer beliefs layered onto older ones. The presence of both high and low status inscriptions reveals that this sacred site wasn't just for royalty, it drew travelers, worshippers, and ordinary people alike. This coexistence of faiths and social classes gives a rare insight into cultural shifts across time. Many of these pieces are now exhibited at the University of Michigan. There are plans to open a local visitor center to better preserve the site and educate future generations about Sudan's rich, underexplored history. It's a big deal. Number 12. Crown of St. Wenceslas. The Crown of St. Wenceslas is a national treasure of the Czech Republic and a key part of the Bohemian crown jewels. Commissioned by Charles IV in 1346 for his coronation as King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, the crown is dedicated to St. Wenceslas, the first patron saint of the country. It was originally housed in St. Vitus Cathedral before being relocated to Karlstein Castle. Crafted from high-purity gold, the crown is adorned with 91 gemstones and 20 pearls, including sapphires, emeralds, spinels, and a single ruby. The crown weighs roughly 5.5 pounds and features two intersecting hoops with a cross on top. Unlike many royal regalia, this one isn't regularly displayed. It's stored in a hidden chamber inside St. Vitus Cathedral, accessible only with 7 keys held by high-ranking Czech officials. Legend has it that any usurper who dares to wear the crown will die within a year. Well, whether it's a myth or a deadly warning, this unique crown's legacy commands reverence and awe even centuries later. Number 11. Zeus Temple in Egypt. At the end of April 2022, archaeologists made a surprising find in Egypt's northwestern Sinai Peninsula. They found a ruined temple dedicated not to an Egyptian deity, but to Zeus Cassios. The name refers to a lesser-known cult figure, a hybrid of the Greek god Zeus and Mount Cassios' storm god. The temple was found at the Tel El Farama site, once known as Pelusium, an ancient port and fortress city. The temple likely dates back around 2,300 years, to a period when Greek influence merged with Egyptian governance. There's not much left of the temple itself, but massive pink granite columns, probably transported from Aswan, confirmed its sacred function. The site's cultural fusion suggests an era of deep political crossover, where worship practices combined local and foreign traditions. This isn't just a case of Greek myth being honored abroad, it's a glimpse into how religion, power, and empire intertwined. Even in ruin, the temple remains a rare physical trace of Egypt's Hellenistic chapter. It's just epic. Number 10. Mummified noblewoman in France. Back in 2015, archaeologists in France found a tomb left untouched for 350 years. Inside, they found the perfectly preserved remains of a woman believed to be Louise de Quengo, though that's still unconfirmed. Regardless of her identity, the discovery was astounding. Her body had undergone natural mummification, an extremely rare occurrence in French burials. Experts think it wasn't intentional. Instead, a combination of burial conditions created a perfect environment for preservation, keeping her skin, organs, hair, and even brain intact. The tomb was located in Rennes, not far from the convent of the Jacobins, which de Quengo was known to be associated with. She was buried in a nun's robe, clutching a crucifix, consistent with her monastic life following the death of her husband, Toussaint Perrien, a nobleman of high status. Her final resting place, clothing, and preservation provide a vivid snapshot of the religious and noble customs of the era and offer a rare chance to examine 17th century French burial rituals up close. Number 9. Ormside Bowl. This is a rare Anglo-Saxon treasure from the mid-8th century, found in 1823 in a grave at Great Ormside. Found buried alongside a Viking warrior, the bowl is crafted from gilded silver and bronze and made up of 2 joined pieces. The outer shell features detailed Anglo-Saxon interlacing with animal and vine motifs, while the inner bowl, made of gilt bronze, is decorated with silver rivets and blue glass inlays. It's believed the Viking looted it from York before being buried with it. The contrast between the naturalistic and grotesque creatures carved on the surface shows a deep understanding of both technical skill and symbolic design. Though there's some debate over the exact date, its style and structure place it in the 8th century. Comparisons with similar bowls, like the one found in Wamfre, help confirm its cultural placement. After its recovery from St. James's Churchyard, the bowl has been exhibited at both the British Museum and the Yorkshire Museum, where it remains a standout example of early medieval craftsmanship. Number 8. Guelph Treasure. The Guelph Treasure is a remarkable collection of medieval Christian art originally held at Brunswick Cathedral in Germany. Comprising 82 pieces, the treasure gets its name from the House of Guelph, a powerful noble family. In 1929, the collection was sold by the former Duke of Brunswick to a group of Jewish art dealers. A major shift occurred in 1935 when much of the treasure ended up in the hands of Hermann Goering, one of Nazi Germany's top officials. After World War II, the descendants of the original Jewish owners began legal proceedings to recover the artworks. However, the process has been fraught with obstacles. The U.S. Supreme Court ultimately ruled in the case of Germany versus Philip that American courts had no jurisdiction, leaving the treasure's fate in German hands. The Guelph treasure remains at the center of ongoing debates about restitution and ownership. Despite its dark legal history, the collection's beauty and craftsmanship have made it one of Europe's most significant medieval art holdings. Number 7. Saints' bones in coffee jars. The remains of saints are usually treated with reverence, displayed in ornate reliquaries, sealed behind glass in churches or cathedrals. But not every saint's bones get that honor. Some apparently end up in old coffee jars. That's exactly what archaeologists uncovered in April 2021 while excavating the ruins of Christ Church Cathedral in New Zealand, a site devastated by the 2010 and 2011 earthquakes. Buried beneath the rubble, they discovered a rusted old safe. Inside, dozens of coffee jars. When researchers opened them, they were stunned to find human bones. It's believed the containers were used for practical reasons. They were watertight and could preserve remains temporarily until a proper solution was found. That solution clearly never came. Judging by the style and condition of the jars, it's likely the bones were sealed in the 1970s and then forgotten. Whether or not the bones belong to saints is still uncertain, but the method of storage was, without question, improvised, forgotten, and far from sacred. Number 6. The tombs of the nobles in Aswan. In Aswan, Spanish archaeologists from the University of Jaén found a remarkably preserved wooden sarcophagus at the Kubbat El Hawa necropolis. Hidden for thousands of years in a rock-cut tomb, the painted coffin likely belonged to a high-ranking individual. The excavation, led by Professor Alejandro Giménez Serrano, involved 17 experts from Spanish and British institutions. Over 1 month, the team uncovered 20 mummies, along with artifacts dating back to around 1830 BCE. Kubbat El Hawa, with its 40 cliffside tombs, served as the burial site for powerful officials of ancient Egypt. The location overlooks Aswan and offers a strategic view of the Nile. Using advanced techniques like RTI imaging and 3D scanning, the team was able to read hieroglyphics that had previously faded or eroded. These methods revealed new details about the individuals buried at the site and the role they played in Egypt's 12th dynasty. Work is ongoing, but this discovery adds another chapter to Egypt's already rich archaeological legacy. Number 5. Ritual bath in Jerusalem. In 2013, a unique ritual bath was unearthed in Jerusalem's Kiryat Menachem neighborhood. It dates back to the Second Temple period, and while dozens of mikvot have been found in the city, this one stands apart due to its amazing design. The bath features a stepped underground chamber that was filled using rainwater, channeled through 3 carved basins on the roof. The water system was cleverly engineered to purify the water as it flowed, something unseen in other known mikvah structures. Typically, rainwater in ancient ritual baths was collected in closed stone pools nearby, but this particular setup suggests a deeper understanding of hydraulics and water preservation. Experts believe the advanced design was likely influenced by the region's arid climate, where maximizing every drop was essential. The layout reflects not just religious custom but architectural ingenuity. Even in a time of limited resources, the builders managed to craft a system that was both spiritually and practically refined. What do you think about it? Number 4. Tomb of Vlad the Impaler. Dracula's tomb may not exist, but the grave of the man who inspired him just might. In June 2014, researchers from the University of Tallinn revealed what they believed to be the final resting place of Vlad Tepes, better known as Vlad the Impaler. Historical records say Vlad disappeared after a battle in 1476. Some accounts claim he died there, while others suggest he was captured by the Ottomans and later ransomed to his daughter in Italy. The new theory backs the latter. A headstone discovered in the courtyard of Santa Maria la Nova in Naples bears symbols associated with the house of Draculisti, not with any Italian nobility. Vlad's daughter and her husband are both known to be buried there, adding credibility. If true, this would mean historians have unknowingly walked past Vlad's grave for centuries. The carving style, emblems, and location all point to the Transylvanian prince. Whether it truly holds Dracula's remains unconfirmed, but the evidence is harder to ignore now. Number 3. Kailasa Temple. The Kailasa Temple in Ellora, India isn't just a marvel, it's the world's largest monolithic structure carved directly from a single rock face. Built around 1,300 years ago, it took roughly 2 decades to complete. Legend says a Hindu king commissioned it after praying to Lord Shiva to heal his ailing queen. His prayers answered, he vowed to build a temple in Shiva's honor, one so grand that it would rival anything ever constructed. Workers didn't build it upward, they carved downward into the basalt mountain, chiseling out intricate reliefs, pillars, and sanctums by hand. A second, similar structure exists in southern India, the Vituvan Coil. While its shape and markings mirror Kailasa's, it remains unfinished. Some believe Vituvan Coil was a prototype or experimental model for Kailasa. The reason for its abandonment is unclear, but both structures show the scale, skill, and ambition of ancient Indian architecture. There's no blueprint for building this way, only the stone, the tools, and an impossible level of patience. Number 2. Malmesbury Hoard. More than a decade after it was found, a cache of 1,266 Roman coins is finally set to be displayed at the Athelstan Museum in Malmesbury, Wiltshire. The coins were unearthed in 2012 by a metal detectorist known only as Mimsy, buried in a field near town. Since then, the collection has been referred to as the Malmesbury Hoard. These coins date between 286 and 317 AD and bear the faces of various Roman emperors. What makes this hoard especially intriguing is its geographical diversity. They were minted across 8 cities, including sites in France, Germany, Italy, Croatia, and Britain. That wide range suggests the coins were likely assembled intentionally, not simply saved. They were found in a broken clay vessel, implying someone buried them for safekeeping but never came back. The museum was able to preserve the hoard through a mix of grant money and community support. Project volunteer Maria Marsh said the coins don't just belong to history, they belong to the town and bring its Roman roots to life. Number 1. Ancient shell bead from Okinawa. It might be easy to overlook a single red bead, but the one found inside Okinawa's Sakatari Cave is now the oldest piece of artificial jewelry ever discovered in Japan. Made from tusk shell and coated in red pigment, the tiny ornament dates back roughly 23,000 years to the Upper Paleolithic period. That time frame alone makes it extraordinary. Crafting it would have been a painstaking process, selecting a suitable shell, carving it to size, then creating and applying the pigment. The recipe for the red coloring is still unknown. There isn't enough left to run conclusive tests, but its existence shows something important, that prehistoric humans in this region weren't just surviving, they were expressing identity, beauty, or status through objects. No written language existed then, and spoken language was likely still limited. So items like this could have held deep symbolic meaning, or even acted as trade tokens. Or maybe it was simply made because someone wanted to create something beautiful and succeeded. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next one.